I'm Andrew Dish Nation. Nick, I'm just going to give you a round of applause right now because this is my new favorite movie. Congratulations. But my first question for you is how good did it feel to say some of those fucking words? Was it so just cathartic in a way to get some of the angst out about the industry, angst out about life? Just how good did it feel?
Well, well, thank you, first of all, for your enthusiasm. Greatly appreciated. Cathartic is a great choice of words. There was an element that was catharsis in this. There were days that felt terrific, and there were also days where it was like, am I making a fool out of so-called Nick Cage, which is okay. I mean, part of this is sending myself up, or they say in England, taking the piss. It was a balancing act. I had to do what I could do and not embarrass my family, but at the same time, facilitate Tom Gormican's vision, which was a highly neurotic / anxiety-fueled Nick Cage, because he thought that was the best Nick Cage, which is, there were a lot of things where I could say are not like me. There's no version of Nick Cage, for example, that doesn't want to spend time with his children. I'm a family man first. But in the movie, the character is going from a career-driven narcissistic actor into a sensitive family man. Career. I don't think of it as a career. I think of it as work. I only had work. And that's how I when I have a job to do, I try to do it well. But those were the kind of areas where we depart from the real version of me and Tom's version of me.
Now let's talk about one of the iconic scenes in here is where you make out with yourself, which I recently just learned moments ago that a lot of that was your idea, that the original idea was just a peck. And you were like, no, they should French kiss. Why did you want to French kiss yourself, Nick?
Yeah, I didn't even know if it was a peck. I think it was more like Nicky hugs Nick and goes, who loves you, baby? Or something like that. And I said, Tom, this entire experience for me is like I'm making out with myself. And what I mean by that is it's awkward, it's kind of fun, and it's horrifying. It would be like looking in a mirror for 90 minutes and then kissing myself. I think that this experience being that, we need to kick it into high gear and have Nicky French kiss Nick, because that's kind of like what's happening in a nutshell. If you look at it as a surrealistic interpretation, this is Cubist. That's another layer on top of the meta layer, and to me that was very symbolic of that.
I mean, it's like a multiverse, mind-blowing, total. Right. I mean, it's amazing. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And Pedro plays essentially a fan of yours. Have you ever been a relationship like that with a fan in real life? Did you ever meet someone like that you befriended?
Well, let me just say that if anybody wants to talk movies with me, whomever I meet, I'm happy to do it. I'll take recommendations, I'll get enthusiastic along with you. But no, I mean, those experiences I have not had that are similar to the one in the movie. It's quite special. And Pedro is beautiful in the movie, and he is a great actor, and he's largely the reason why the whole movie works.
Finally, Nick, I just want to tell you thank you, because 20 years ago, I was a film student at UC Santa Cruz, and you came into my class and surprised us and taught us a class, and you have informed me loving movies, and it started with that class, and I've never been able to thank you for that.
Great. Thank you so much for saying so. Oh, that's music, man. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Nick. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm Andrew Dish Nation. Lily, this movie is so good. It's so like, I'm just sitting there and I'm watching it, and it is so freaking good. So congratulations, first of all.
Thank you. That's lovely of you to say.
Of course. And honestly, I did not know who your parents were until my producer, gave me my notes, and I was like, okay, now I'm even more wildly invested, fascinated in your role in this. Because in your scenes with Nick, when you're kind of, getting into it, I imagine having two famous actor parents, that's happened before in your own life. So did you have any kind of like surreal moments where you're like, wait a minute, I've spoken to my mom like this, or my dad, like, what was that like?
I mean, interestingly enough, like you say, you didn't know, who I was before. It was the same experience for the producers on the movie. They didn't know sort of who I was when they saw. And And I think that, I mean, I feel very like, ooh, about that. I feel very good about myself. But I think also I hope that what that brought to the movie was, you know, I haven't had this experience with my family. I didn't have the same upbringing. And I think it's commendable that my family did kind of, you know, bend over backwards to make sure that the industry didn't destroy our relationship or destroy, you know, my childhood or whatever, and that they were always appreciative of who I was, independent of them. There is definitely a catharsis at any point in yelling at a father figure, you know, that's always amazing. But no, I mean, I've never really, you know, another interesting thing, I'm supposed to hate all these old movies that Nick loves, and I actually love those movies. So I bonded with my dad in real life over those movies, and that's actually a point of contention for me and Nick in the movie. So that was, you know, in terms of prepping for the part, that was what was so interesting, to be able to compare and contrast those elements in my own life and explore this kind of alternate world version of me, you know?
Very important question is, can you do a Nicolas Cage impression? What are your thoughts? You're an actress, Lily. I'm just putting you on blast right now, putting you on blast.
But what if I just faint and then I can avoid the question? I could. I mean, look, my favorite is, I'll do no justice, but you've got to do the bees. There we go. That's it. If we had bees in here, I'd probably do it better, but not this time.
Now, if they were going to make a movie about Lily Sheen, who would you want to play Lily Sheen?
What a question. Well, me, because I would like to be in another movie. But I also probably would say, I love Laura Dern. I love, you know, young Laura Dern when she's in all of the Lynch movies. I think she's so compelling. I love looking at her, and I love how expressive she is on screen. So, I mean, I would be very lucky to be able to have young Laura Dern play me. So I hope that would be the case.
Is there anything, you know, working with Nick, and obviously I'm sure he told you a lot of stories about his career, are you getting a lot of good kind of life advice? Obviously your parents are actors, but kind of things, ways you want to navigate this business, ways you don't want to navigate this business?
Yeah, I mean, they've been really lucky. The privilege that I have of having parents in the industry, you know, part of that obviously is being able to get really sound advice from them, from people who know, you know. And I think the biggest thing that I've always absorbed from my parents, and also obviously been told by them, is just professionalism, politeness, and the understanding that everyone there is there to do their job and get to the end of the day. You know, it can be fun and exciting and magical, which it is, but it is also someone's job, and you shouldn't do anything to impede that, and everything is communal, and we're all working together. I feel very lucky to be able to have a helping hand and someone that I can really ask for advice whenever I need it.
Congratulations on the movie. You should be really proud. It's fucking amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It was lovely speaking to you.
Thanks, Lily. Thank you, guys. Andrew, Dish Nation. All right, Tom, right out the bat, going right with you. Give me your best Nick Cage impression, Tom. I'm going to just sit right here and watch.
Wow, you heard
Come
that
on.
he does one.
Yeah. What's my best Nick Cage impression? I'm not a neurotic guy, Tom. That's the best I got for you.
Kevin, don't think you're going to get out of this.
Oh, I'm doing this? Okay. You know, Kevin, I was wondering, I have an idea for this scene this morning, and it was, you know, Tom doesn't get it, but I think you might understand.
Just speak as slow as possible. That's the Nick Cage invitation.
Was Nick always your guy when you were writing this? Was he always your guy, and why?
I mean, well, yes, Nick was always the guy. The character's name was Nicolas Cage. Like it was always him. And I think, you know, we've talked a little bit about why, and it's like he's had this like incredible like breadth of experiences across like every genre, right? And he's had like career highs and lows. He's won an Oscar. He's done these incredible like large expressionist performances, but there's like this underlying thing where we think we wanted to see the best version of Nicolas Cage. You just want him to succeed. And whatever that is, like we thought we were feeling it, and we thought maybe the rest of the world kind of feels that too.
I mean, yeah, I think it's also like Nick just is a guy who to me just doesn't seem like he gives a fuck what anybody else thinks, you know? And like that kind of rock star attitude is just so refreshing and cool. And yeah, he's a guy that's done it all and like kind of just followed his own path.
Yeah.
It's cool.
There's an authenticity to Nick. There's the reality
Now-
to that guy.
Because you two are both so insane, you wrote the scene where he makes out with himself. I need to know where that scene came from and how you physically shot it.
Well, that scene, okay, was supposed to be Nicolas Cage coming in and the young version picks him up and he kisses him on the cheek. And Nick came to Kevin and I at the beginning of that day and he said, well, I've got an idea. And we were like, okay. And he said, I think my character should French kiss myself. And we thought, we both like blurted out, yes, absolutely. And so that was a Nicolas Cage idea, an idea that you're not going to get from any other actor ever, right? And so I had to scramble around, peak COVID, how to make like the double work with Nicolas Cage, his mouth like touching his. So like we had this whole a plan that went out the window, and it just basically, you know, came out of Nick's head.
So he was insane, not you guys. It was his idea.
Well, I mean, clearly, you know, this is Nicolas Cage we're talking about here. This is the reason we
I
made
think
the film for those ideas.
Couldn't be more sane to me. I mean, to me, it's a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
Kevin, just wrapping it up, what makes Nick so unique? Because there's a lot of big movie stars out there, and I feel like a lot of them would not do a movie like this. They would not be so self-deprecating as he is. What is it about him that sets him apart from other kind of actors at his level?
I think it's his willingness to take chances and to kind of just put himself in situations and put himself into projects that he's never done before, that make him uncomfortable. And I think, you know, this movie gave him, it allowed him the opportunity to play with people's perceptions of who they think he is and versus who he really is. And, you know, it's just like a big performance art piece. And there's only really one big actor that I think would be willing to do something like this, and that's him. So
congratulations, guys. I've told so many people to go see this movie. You two should be so proud. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. We appreciate
that.
that.
Thank you.